The defense business and the crypto world have been rocked by a secret leak. Ledger Shield, a top-secret DARPA project, is said to have chosen the XRP ledger, yes, XRPL, as the base for its next-generation military-grade payment and transportation system. What is the project's goal? To build a decentralized instant payment system that can't be hacked and can support cross-border troop support, AI-controlled logistics, and the organization of drone swarms. Project Ledger Shield XRPL for asymmetric warfare is written on the leaked presentation slide that has the Pentagon seal on it. Even though it's fuzzy, the writing is clear. If this is true, it changes the role of blockchain from a new technology for money to a powerful tool for building things. XRP is no longer just a digital object in this new world. It turns into a state-level tool built into the world's most powerful war machine ever. It is impossible to ignore what this means. The US Department of Defense has been looking for decades for ways to let decentralized groups, especially autonomous ones, talk to each other and coordinate finances in a safe, real-time way. In the age of swarms of drones and combat decisions made by AI, trust and latency are problems. You can't have delays, failed payments, or rely on private banks or unstable satellite links. You need a network that can work even when things aren't working well. One that doesn't need to be connected to the internet all the time or be verified by a third party. One that can move data and worth absolutely, right away, reliably, and predictably. XRP comes in. The way it was built was made for this. It settles in seconds, doesn't need proof of work, and can't be stopped or controlled. These are the exact things that DARPA and the Pentagon want. Determined conclusion in a place where people don't trust each other. Why XRP instead of Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana? The answer comes in how consistent and easy to use XRPL is. Bitcoin costs too much and takes too long to work. Ethereum really does have problems with scale and those annoying gas fees. Some people say that Solana is fast, but defense departments really need decentralization that has been tried in battle and enterprise-grade resilience. The XRP system, on the other hand, has been up and running since 2012 and has never stopped. It costs a very small amount of money to use. There's no need to mine it. It can also be used on gadgets that don't use a lot of power. That means it can be built into satellites, secure mobile nodes, and self-driving field robots, all of which are military-grade gear. It can be used without power. It is able to work in dangerous places. It can also send confirmed value across military systems that are protected by firewalls. But here's the catch. There are no secret ledgers or simulations in this conversation. Insider information says that the Pentagon is looking into using XRP as a real-world currency. That means XRP from the real world, which is open to everyone, would be used for these transactions, not copies or wrapped versions. Defense organizations would buy, hold, and use the real XRP currency. That's where things go off the rails. The US spends more than $800 billion a year on defense. If just 1% of that budget goes through XRP-based services, that's 8 billion transactions every year. But that's not all. Contracts, weapon delivery systems, fueling payments for unmanned aircraft, real-time combat bounty coordination, and smart contract-based arms control are all new things that will make people want to buy XRP. This desire doesn't care about price, cycles, or the market. It's structural, strategic, and can't be stopped. Now picture that demand hitting an asset with a fixed quantity like XRP. There are only 100 billion XRP in circulation, and a lot of it has already been lost, locked up, or kept for a long time. There isn't much float left. If the US military, NATO, or defense companies start buying XRP over the counter to meet the terms of their contracts, it will be terrible for people who don't already hold it. It's not on the charts either. The deals will be done through institutional desks and will not be made on the market or through Ripple's enterprise partnerships. You will not be told when the price will change. It will move slowly at first, then quickly. When people find out that XRP is used to fund global war operations, the race won't be to the bottom, it will be to the vault. Let us talk about what this means. The military-industrial complex has made its choice. As systems move from being centralized to being decentralized, the Pentagon thinks that XRP is the best way to build authority and resilience. In other words, XRP isn't just a piece of money. It's a new type of weapon, a digital tool for keeping power, order, and cooperation across borders, battlefields, and time periods. It also means that the US won't let countries that are at odds with us control the flow of XRP. If XRPL becomes a standard protocol for NATO systems, it is necessary for national security reasons to control and rule its flow of money. This will always end up leading to buildup, still determined and unwavering. This is how live whales move. Let's talk about cost now. If you think like a regular trader, $1 million per XRP sounds like a meme. How do you set the price of something that is essential for the life of the state? For leadership on the battlefield? For buying things during a war? It's not possible. The model for valuing doesn't work anymore. It then comes down to how much cash can be protected, how many backups can be made, and how many attackers can't get in. It's about power, control, and denying something. And when something gets that important, there is no stopping it. It becomes a systemic assessment, and systemic values aren't limited by charts. They're set by policy, which is made by force and need. The important thing here is not how much XRP costs right now. It's how much this tool will cost when it's used all over the world. However, Project Ledger Shield is only a pilot. Technologies that begin in defense are likely to find their way into everyday life. Just think about GPS and the internet. Now think about Ledger Shield. The same XRPL backbone that is used to pay unmanned drones could soon be used for cross-border regulation, payroll, foreign trade, and the supply chain. Logistics, healthcare, aerospace, and every other business would all be able to connect to the system. They would all be competing for the same XRP liquidity that you can buy today for very little money. It becomes more clear what your job is as a holder in this world. It's not just a bet on a coin. You own a piece of the world's infrastructure. You own a piece of the record that could be used for the next 100 years to aid in trade.